What's up, Vanity babies? I am doing a quick little short video. I'm going to be going tonight to go watch The Woman King. I've been excited about this movie coming out. I've been anticipating what it's going to be, and I was happy it was finally being released and saw some of the cast interviews. Didn't see a lot, but I went online not too long ago and saw the Black Twitter is losing its damn mind about The Woman King. Now, some of it I get, some of it I don't. There are people actually trying to boycott this movie based on the fact that the tribe of people, the Dahomey, or this, I think it's not just the Dahomey people, it's the Dahomey, was the country or the nation, not the country, but the nation, of people who promoted slavery or who were one of the top nations as far as I don't even have the words, who were slave traffickers. Basically, they were slave traffickers, and they were pretty ruthless about it. And I had read about this. I mean, honestly, I was told, I took an African American history course back in college, and I'm thinking I'm going to be learning all about African American history. And the first thing my instructor did was take us back to Africa. We learned African history, then we moved into African American history. So I have a full understanding of what went on with the slave trade in Africa. And honestly, y'all, it was Africans selling Africans. The African kings, I don't know what they're called, kings and noblemen and heads of the tribes and cities, they basically, those larger tribes, those larger nations, basically enslaved anyone they could. You committed a crime, you went into slavery. You talk back to your husband, you went into slavery. I mean, it could be any type of infraction. And if a certain tribe decided to, not a tribe, I keep calling them tribes, but a nation decided to invade another nation, whoever they took captive, if they weren't their personal slaves, they sold them into slavery. So this was not just the Dahomey who did this. It was throughout Africa, mostly the coastal nations, some of the northern and coastal nations on I want to say the east. I could be wrong. I could go back and look, but from what I looked up, there were lots of, Egypt, Morocco, all of these countries or nations participated in the slave trade. And I understand that the trailer makes it look like they're kind of glamorizing these women who were a part of this nation who enslaved black people, who invaded other African nations and killed off people and enslaved them and blah, blah, blah. That is true. For me, I've always known this, so I guess it wasn't as much of a shock to me. So I don't see the need of boycotting anything until I found out that it's wrong. Now, I will go and watch it. I plan on watching it this evening, and I'm going to compare it to what I know to be true in history. And if it's inaccurate, then I will have something negative to say about the movie. Why boycott something you haven't seen when you don't really know what the story is about? I have a feeling that this movie is going to be more about these women in this group who had to learn how to become a sisterhood and fight together and work together, versus this, big scary woman army who defeated the white man and defeated slavery. No, they didn't. They promoted slavery. We all know this. But again, I want to see the movie to find out if that is in fact what it shows, because I know Viola Davis is playing a major role, but I don't think she's going to be the primary role. From the looks of it, the younger young lady, the warrior, is going to be, I think she's going to be the main character. But again, it's going to be these young women who are coming into this situation and having to learn how to operate in this new life. Yes, there's going to be some battle scenes. Of course, that's what they were. This is Hollywood. They're making, they want to make money, so they want to have action scenes. And, you know, historically, this group of women were more like bodyguards to the king and not necessarily going out into battle for every fight. There was a story I read where if the men were depleted in battle, they would fill in. That was their role. Some of the YouTubers that I've seen making reviews about this, and even on Twitter, I think they're upset that women are being put in this light of being stronger than men. I'm being honest. That's what I'm hearing. But that's not, and we know that's not what really happened, but of course they want to make it appealing to folks living nowadays. They're not going to show these women wearing skirts and just having sticks. No, they want to show action, and they want to draw men in who like action movies as well. I'm going to see it. I'm going to reserve my judgment until after I see it. Then I'm going to come back and give an honest review of what I think this movie is about. I'm not boycotting anything. I think I have a sneaky suspicion it's going to be more about these women than about killing off the white man and keep them from making us slaves. That wasn't what they did. They did kill off some white folks, or more, I think it was more Portuguese than Caucasians that they had to fight to keep them from encroaching in their lands, to teach them that they couldn't come in and just take people. You weren't going to do that. Didn't we learn that lesson? No, it was Africans selling Africans. And these women protected their nation, which promoted that type of barbarity. That's true. But I don't think this story is about, it's not going to talk about any of that because it's about these women. It's a women's story. It's about these women who were put into the situation or forced into the situation. And it's about how they get along and how they handle themselves in this situation. We shall see. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and say I'm wrong. But y'all stop with the boycott. Stop. Black Twitter, you're doing too much today. We got to see it in order to even judge it. How do you judge something you don't even know what's going on? They got Jewish women in Twitter talking about, oh, you wouldn't do this, make a movie about Hitler. It's not the same. We know what these people did. I want to see what this movie talks about. If it's talking about women and their relationships, I'm for it. It may not be 100% historically accurate. I know the history. I think this is a great opportunity for us to open the debate or discussion about what actually happened in the slave trade. Because there are people who believe Europeans came in and drug us up by our hair and put us on ships. And no, we were sold. It was called sold into slavery for a reason. And it was our own ancestors who did it. Someone on Twitter made a statement that we have the blood of the enslaved and the enslavers in our blood, which we do. Accept it. Move on. But again, I wanted to make this quick little video to kind of just give a background of what I'm about to do and what I've been seeing online. I made a couple little posts online to try to defend what I'm saying, and some folks get it, some folks don't. People make a statement, well, if it's talking about slavery, but if it's not talking about it accurately, we don't want to hear about it, or we're not going to promote it. This is probably a story about women, y'all. We shall see. See you soon. Auntie loves you. Bye. I gotta go.